Module 10, the endocrine system. Patterns of hormone secretion. You should now have a better understanding of how hormone secretion is controlled, but what's interesting is that there's a pattern of how hormones are secreted in the body. In the last section, you learned a lot about how thyroxine is released by the control of the hypothalamus. But is it only secreted when the hypothalamus is stimulated? Or is it continuously secreted and alters its rate of secretion as a result of a stimulus from the hypothalamus? Well, there are 3 patterns of how hormone secretion can be controlled. The first pattern of secretion is called constant secretion. This means that these hormones are constantly being secreted at a pretty steady amount, and it's up to the control mechanisms of the body to help maintain this steady level of secretion. An example of a hormone that conforms to this pattern of secretion control is thyroxine. If temperatures remain pretty steady around you, as when you're constantly in a climate-controlled environment, then your thyroxine levels will remain about the same. But the rate of secretion can be adjusted if the hypothalamus raises or lowers it, depending on changes in thyrotropin-releasing hormone. And those changes will happen if the general climate you are in changes. It will either increase its secretion or decrease it. The second pattern of secretion is called acute response. This is when the hormone remains at a low level in the body until a stimulus causes it to be secreted. At a stimulus, then, the hormone levels will rapidly increase. And when the stimulus ceases, the production and secretion of the hormones quickly slows down. A good example of hormones that conform to this pattern of secretion are epinephrine and norepinephrine. These acute response hormones are really only produced in large quantities as a result of physical or emotional stress. The greater the stress, the greater the hormone production and secretion. And when the stress is gone, the production and secretion of these hormones diminishes rapidly. The third and final pattern of secretion is cyclic secretion. This is when hormones are secreted on a regular and often predictable cycle of time. A good example of hormones that conform to this pattern of secretion are estrogen and progesterone in women. These hormones are secreted in a monthly cycle, which is called the menstrual cycle. In males, the hormone testosterone also follows cyclic secretion. However, it is secreted only on a daily cycle, higher in the morning and lower in the evening.